Okay. I think more people will arrive also as we go along. Um, yeah, so today we're gonna have Kelly on, Kelli McGowan. I hope I'm saying it right. And we're gonna be talking about Qigong and the healing journey she has been on, and I guess also many other people have been on. And I have a feeling this is gonna be very inspiring to listen to. So I am going to pin here, add pin, okay, and then I'm gonna ask to unmute. Okay, I cannot hear you.
Can't hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, could you either go closer to the microphone or turn up the volume somehow?
Let me see. Is that better?
Yeah, that's very good.
Great.
Okay, good. Okay, and then I'm gonna maximize the window here and set it up here. Okay, namaste. Nice to meet you.
Good morning. Nice to meet you. I've heard
Yes.
lots of things about you for a long time.
Yeah, well, likewise, I heard a lot of things about you. So I'm happy we finally meet. And yeah, Zane is very, very passionate when he's talking about you with your story, etc. So why don't we get straight into it? So if you could talk a little bit about who you are, your background, and then maybe segue into the story of the Qigong and your healing process, etc.
Okay. So, first, I just want to start off by saying that these meetings are always very, very auspicious. And there's a frequency that we're all on right now and something that brought us together. So, just to really kind of get into that space of how precious these encounters are and the quality and at this particular time. So just to really like just really feel for a second, like, wow, I don't know what brought us together, but there's something very special because I'm not doing this kind of thing right now, hardly at all. So I feel very blessed to be with you. And Zane, if Zane asked me to do something, there's nothing I wouldn't do for him. So um, it feels like a very high purpose. And so for myself, I started my life in San Francisco with a family of entrepreneurs and my dad was an inventor and a genius. And we just lived in bold print in every way. And we brought a lot of entertainment. We owned bars, restaurants, delis, beauty shops, um, places like Sammy Hagar played before he was Sammy Hagar. So we were in the heartbeat of San Francisco when I grew up. And I ended up my husband and I were also in the food business and huge in the food business. So we've worked with a lot of people and always been full throttle, lots going on. And so for me, it was natural just to be doing more than most people did in a week, in a day. And I ended up going through a series of life situations, being a single mom, and became a hairdresser. And went from this like lavish lifestyle to just I couldn't. And my soul was just always calling me. It was always the material things just were easy, and but I was a moth to a flame when it came to personal growth and development and spirituality. And so I got sober in the 80s, in 1989, when my daughter was, I think, 15, 18 months old. And I started, I went from everything to starting from scratch with nothing as a single mom. And it was a great journey. I went through living in a share rental with 10 other people and just crawling my way back up, but having just real fun. I started just really being a light worker and living the life that I came here to live. And along the way, later in life, I ended up going from, I was in my late 40s and just, lit up the room wherever I went, and people would come to my salon for counsel. Like it was a shrine. It looked like a, glamour operation, but really it was an undercover operation to help people heal. And, beauty was just the cover job. And it was super dynamic, but there was this thing that I was doing in life, which was as much spiritual work and volunteering, and I mean hospice and suicide prevention center, and the Center for Attitudinal Healing, and vice president of the Center for Inner Peace, and studied the Course in Miracles, was VP for 15 years. So I was doing all of this all at once while running a business and raising a daughter and many, many other things, just insane. And I think what I was doing was I felt that the world was so intolerable, and I just wanted to do everything I could to make it better, but I never really did my inner work. I did a lot of work. I mean, obviously I went through all kinds of different, anything that you could think of, from the landmark forum to to things that you've never heard of. So I was always pursuing, and but there wasn't enough hours in a day to still feel good, so I burnt myself out. I was literally going morning and night, and I had enough energy. But that wasn't sustainable by the time I was 48. And what I've learned in Qigong is that I really wanted everything to be good in this world. And I never really, my sister and I went through some really tough stuff, some super big traumatic stuff when we were young. And she got really angry, and I went really sweet. And so I didn't ever like let that anger and that kind of thing, I didn't, feel it, but I didn't also have the balance of it. And so this is why I think that I was diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia. I went from this amazing, highly functional life and super dynamic in every way, and I was despicable. I was the antithesis of what I was. And I lost ability to talk. I lost my ability to process words. I lost facial recognition. I went through um, 2 years of testing through UCSF and Stanford, being studied. I ended up getting diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia, which is what Bruce Willis has right now.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and it's like the most violent and aggressive. When I was sent to palliative care, they said, let's face it, this is the most horrific disease known to man.
Uh-huh.
And it's inappropriate in every way. And I was incontinent, and I was choking. I ended up with ALS on top of it. So I lost use of a lot of my right side. I had drop foot, and I couldn't walk. A lot of times I had to crawl. I had no use of my hands. But worse than that, I had no functioning of my brain. So I lost multitasking and executive functioning, and I couldn't track. Like I couldn't understand the words that you were saying.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't get a word to come out. Like the wrong word would come out of my mouth, and I kept thinking that people were other people, and then it got worse. It got a lot worse. So I don't need to bring in all the trauma and drama, but it was hellacious and rapid. I was given a very short period of time to live. And I had been interviewed by several newspapers, and they both hit in the same month, the main newspapers in Marin County where I live. So I was on the front of the Independent Journal, and then 4 pages inside there, and then on the front of the Pacific Sun. They both rolled out at the same week in Marin. So everyone had already known me from the businesses that we owned. And I just wanted to let people know that at that time, that the doctor said there's nothing you could do button up your affairs, and in about a year, if we get enough people, we'll try to have or they just said there's an Alzheimer's Association. When I called the Alzheimer's Association, they said they didn't have enough people to support people, and I had always been in groups, and trying to find my best way to navigate through things. And they said that they needed 4 people to hold a group. And it took over a year to accumulate those kind of people. So that's when I felt driven to go to the newspapers and say, hey, I want to break the stigma from dementia and Alzheimer's. And here I am, 48. So I'm 61 now. It was quite a long time ago. And, I think most people in the older generation, especially in Marin, are so attached to their intellect, they wouldn't tell people when they have Alzheimer's and those kinds of things. And so I just wanted to break the stigma and let people know that there is support, they can get support, and try to find a way to get through it with any bit of grace and dignity. That was my only prayer was, I knew spiritually I had been on the path long enough, and I just thought I knew that this had to be my perfect path or I wouldn't be on it, and I couldn't take the victim role. So I had had a lot of training to prepare me for this, and I thought, this is just my chance to bring grace and dignity and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to do the best I could, and it wasn't good. And it was a really tough assignment. But what ended up happening is some crazy lady who had zero budget. She was a filmmaker. She had also been in films, some stuff that was pretty well known. And she saw my article and she was driven to get a hold of me. So she tried to get a hold of me on LinkedIn or something that I didn't pay attention to. And she wanted to do a documentary on the situation. And there were other filmmakers that had contacted me at that time. And they really I could feel, I'm pretty intuitive. I get communication with this inner guide and from all the practice that I had done. And these other people, I could have made some decent money. And I went from being very productive, and I had caught myself on fire and burnt my hands to 3rd degree. So I couldn't work. And the idea of the money seemed enticing, but the energy behind them felt so no. I got a strong no. And this zero budget lady, her name was Sylvia, and she wanted to do this film and this documentary on Qigong. And I had an amazing aversion to Qigong. I grew up in San Francisco, and I drove by Golden Gate Park, and I saw the Asian people chasing the wind, and I actually made fun of them all the time. And, so it's almost ironic, and I was programmed, to not. And so,
God loves fun. God loves fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny the things you have an
Yeah,
aversion to.
yeah. Welcome to my life. I have tons of that. I'm running around with my own ideas, and God is just putting me in my place and showing me complete opposite. And I'm just like nonstop being humbled and just shown you can take that mind, Josh, and put it aside and just and just follow the flow of what wants to happen. Yeah. So God loves fun.
Yeah, yeah. I got sat down and I grew up and I got opened up. But what I really did is from the beginning, I revolutionized the reactive mode, and it brought in a lot. I got interviewed by the Yoga Journal, and I got to change, or not change, but introduce a new way. I'm not very popular in the support groups because they love to complain. They love to be victims. They love to do all the medication, follow the doctors. And I've always been a bit rebellious, and I've just listened to this inner voice, and my inner voice was like, no, no, no. And so even though I was in head crushing pain, like a level 20 on a 10 scale, I refused to do pharma. I'm not a good candidate for even natural substances. I tried to do even cannabis to just take the edge off, and I lost my connection to my little bit of spirituality I had left when I could. And so it was just a tough journey. But every day, so I went to this, by the time the retreat rolled around, it was at the stage where the pain was so bad that my daughter, I was a single mom, and my daughter was a young single mom, and she said, I can't watch you do it anymore. So we did a death plan, and we had it all set where nobody could get in trouble, but I met with Choice and Compassion and Death with Dignity, and they can't do anything with you when you're incompetent. So you have to be of sound mind and body to make that decision. So I kind of had to get crafty and with my plan. And we had it all set up for July of that year. We wanted my granddaughter to be in school. And I didn't know if I could make it that long. I was really in like hospice mode at that time.
Wow.
And And yeah, and the retreat that finally rolled around, these people were real wonky with the way that they set it all up. And I didn't even think I was going to really go. By that time, I had full-time care and I was crawling to the bathroom and losing the fluids from the ALS and choking and had drop foot and really just really locked in a lot of ways. I was in a living hell, and I don't throw around self-pity things very much, but it was hard to look at for everyone. And I became that lady that you kind of wanted to get away from. I was screaming at my doctors and falling down when I was going down the street. And so I went from being A to Z. And I remember at one point, I was kind of yelling at God when I had fallen down and people were crossing the street to get away from me. And I thought, I don't want to give you the words that I used, but I called him some choice names. And I just said, I've been your ambassador, you know, and I've done everything I can to develop the oneness of our thinking and to clean and forgive and, you know, heal. And I got this message. It was kind of like you know, when I was going to kill myself, it was like you know, the sunlight shines even for the ugly weed. Like the sun, you know, shines even for the ugly weed. And I just had to, it was so clear to me. And it said, this is so you can love yourself when you're unlovable. It's easy to love yourself when you're the cute little, you know, making everyone pretty and healing people's hearts and helping people to forgive and cleaning all. I mean, that was easy stuff, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
deep journey, but the real chance to just love myself when I was despicable. So, and then so at that point, I thought it was the most loving thing to do to kill myself because nobody wants to watch their mom or their best friend or their mentor or their like I had a guy contact me on Facebook yesterday and he said, everybody, and you were everybody's crush in AA. So I went from that to being, bleh, you know, and so it was really, you know, this chance to really just bring in my own inner love. Like you guys couldn't love me enough when I was doing everything good. And so I turned everything into this just chance to try to grow and develop. I figured whatever I bring back, you know, it's just it's a situation that looks really bad on the outside. But if I can have just one twinkle in my eye in the midst of the chaos. But when going back to, you know, killing myself, it was like I was really clear that that was the most loving thing. And once again, I got sat down and it was really like, no, you need to go through this whole thing all the way through it and just love yourself. So I wasn't even allowed to escape. And the journey continued and it went on and on. I met Zane, I think 9, 10 years ago, somewhere in there. And after a couple of years of my training in the Qigong, and you know, slowly things would not be so brutal. Like by the end of the day, I would just have tears, and I have a high threshold of pain, but it was just so bad. But the Qigong, you know, it took the edge off. It never got rid of it for a long time, but I knew day by day things were happening where that it was just broken razor blade, broken glass, burning razor blade, neurological, physical, emotional, mental pain. And I just kept unraveling it with with the light, with the chi, and every time I did a practice, some energy would move. And it was kind of it still can be whack-a-mole, but continuously things are always improving. And then I had gone into hospice probably 2 other times while I was in Qigong. So I can't say that it was always an upward journey.
And I just wanna add that I'm sure it's not easy to feel the energy when you have so much pain at the same time, because like the body is overwhelmed with all this, and then trying to move energy at the same time can also be, you know, overriding the sensitivity in some ways. I would guess, or what would you say with that?
I would disagree with that. I went my first retreat. There was, I don't know how many people, but there was a lady in the back that was in a hospital bed for the whole retreat. And she never got up, she never did the movements, and she ended up, getting out of her wheelchair and dancing down the front with her husband um, at the end of the retreat. So even though she couldn't even move and she was excruciating pain, she had major effects. So I don't think that was really the case. I think that the Qigong is very easy to feel pretty fast for most people. It really is contingent on your mind state. If your mind is open, and I just planned on going to the retreat and meditating with those people for 20 minutes and getting out. Like, I had no intention of staying there. I was in the last couple of months of my life. I wanted to spend the last bit of time with my daughter and my granddaughter. I didn't want to be at a retreat trying to heal. There was no hope to heal. I mean, I had been studied by the best, UCSF and Stanford. There was absolutely a guarantee that this was not going to turn around.
Yeah.
So I had no agenda, but the reason why I stayed was because I could feel the energy and I could feel just something happening. And, this is at a time when my whole head was going into spasm and my jaw was going into lockjaw. And I mean, things were just like excruciating. And I could just feel one little thing lift off a little bit. Yeah, it would come back when I'd stop practicing. But slowly things just kept lifting and moving and lifting and moving. And it was really clear that something was happening. You could see changes all the time for people. And when we have new people coming into our class now, we had a new guy come in with ALS recently. He couldn't use his arm. His name's Marty. And he, in the first session, he said, I slept better last night and I held a fork for the first time. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really, I don't want to blow it up and increase people's expectations. One of the things about Qigong is, I had no expectation. And so it's kind of like low, I need to say this carefully, like low, if you join, lower your expectations because then you increase your performance, but keep a big wish. And then you have to have willpower to carry on with
Uh-huh.
it. That's why the group support is so important. But it's really crazy how powerful it is and how easy it is to feel it. If you have a mind state, it's
Uh-huh.
really contingent on, your mind is the commander.
So,
And so we
so
a lot,
what do you mean when you say if you have the mind state? What
right?
what do you mean with that?
So if I'm going to be absolutely, this is never going to work, and I'm already just full of like, no. So what you think is what you get. Like how powerful your thinking is. If you think this is never going to work, you might get a little surprised. I didn't think it was going to work. But I already am so deeply open to transformation and healing and things like that. And so the thought behind the thought always for me is everything is possible,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So it's like this, you got to clean the subconscious layers
Okay.
and open things up. And that's what a lot of the practice is about. So your mind state when you're in a practice can amplify or, repel to
Yeah.
a certain degree, depending on your growth and where you're at. But most people that come to a retreat really, no matter what walk of life and where they've come from, you can feel it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you say most. That means some people will not feel anything and not heal. And I'm guessing that there is also a karmic situation with whatever disease people are struggling with, where karmically speaking, maybe they're not supposed to heal. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think everybody that's come to a retreat, I've been to many, many, many retreats myself. And I've also had, I've enrolled many, many people to come and study some of this stuff with our teachers. And there are people that fall off. They're not interested. They're just not ready yet.
Yeah.
I believe that eventually we all have to wake up in order to wake up. So when you're ready, you're ready. And when you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
I can say that I've only seen one person out of all the retreats I've ever been to leave and say this isn't my retreat. And really, he loved qigong, but he did not like that teacher.
Okay.
um, do you see people fall off, and myself included? If you feel the energy and you start to do your healing, it's one of these practices that's why it's so special, this group that we have, because it's so good and it works so well. But if you get away from it, it's almost like it's hard to get back in. It's like your body, your mind will tell you, oh, I don't need that. And I think it's because
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I think it's because it really works. And I think that there's this little book, it's called The Impersonal Life by Elvis Presley.
Okay.
And not by Elvis Presley. He gave away millions of copies of it. A little tiny book called The Impersonal Life. He gave away millions and millions of copies of it. You can Google it. But in that book, it says, um, you know, every time you're not ready, you're getting closer to being ready. So it's not making it a bad thing. It's just that people aren't quite ready.
Uh-huh.
And, sometimes the things that are really good for us, the ego turns up the volume when you start to get really close. So it's kind of like, look over here, or you don't need that, so there's part of it that it's just natural. You're not quite ready, so it's okay.
Uh-huh.
Other part of it is really pulling the covers on the ego and saying, I know what my destiny is. And I can tell, like, most people they get into it and they're like, oh my God, I'm finally fulfilling my purpose, my real purpose, to create the lack that's happening in the Western medical model, especially now. It's gone sideways. It's a corporate sickness field, and it's not healing a lot of the things. It's good for some, but it's mostly a money-making sickness machine with, prescribing all this pharma that's making tons of money for the corporate, but people are not getting well and they're getting sicker.
Yeah.
And so right now, the call for people, many healers are being called to Zhenin Qigong and all kinds of different things because the model is failing. And when you start to really get into this Zhenin Qigong, it's an entirety healing. So you're healing not just the physical. You're healing the past. You're healing your reference frameworks, your reactive modes. Like, it's an entirety healing your subconscious layers. It has every facet, and you're becoming the Tao. You're becoming the oneness. You're becoming the entirety. So you're working with the super mind, this supreme intelligence, the pure consciousness. You're working with these energies and these sounds and these movements and these technologies that are awakening and developing the human. And when you start to do that, you feel the energy, and your inspiration, your spirit starts to just come alive. Well, then also, yeah, the ego will turn up its volume. So if you don't have support, or if you're just small willpower, you're going to fall off for a while, but you're going to come back. Most people always come back, as far as I've seen, and they'll come back when they're ready. I mean, we are not trying to chase people, and we're just trying to get this ourselves. We're not trying to build the business. We're not trying to make anything happen. Like, our goal, I have a lot of people that want me to go out there and do some advocacy, but right now we're just trying to keep our energy inward and get this deeply for the next several years. And then we'll have 100% to offer, instead of doing it even on a, because over the 12 years or 10 years that I've been in this, in this healing thing, in the beginning, I was doing lots of YouTubes and lots of stuff just to give a little hope and try to get through, try to be purposeful. And now I've even learned I'm just reserving all of that, and I'm really going deeply inside. So I've done a complete 100% personality change with myself, where I used to have all these antennas out there that were consuming.
Uh-huh.
Now everything's about coming inside and really gathering energy, and knowing that as I do this inside, as I cultivate this inner gong fu and real healing, it is healing the world. It is changing. So it's not
Uh-huh.
mass, it's ego consuming and going out there and building an empire of a business, because that's fun and that'll be happening. It's abundant and flowing, but it's not time.
It's
It,
also
I,
it's also a very typical American thing to think like that. to build empires, massive businesses, and throwing out all these strings. And I'm Danish, and I'm around. I spend a lot of time around Americans, and I can just see that there is this tendency of thinking like that in a lot in Americans, where most of my upbringing has been actually from the East, the Asian philosophies like the Vedic traditions and all that stuff, and they have more that approach that you have now come to also yourself, where it's an internal thing, and then things will come to you instead of you trying to reach out. So it's a different movement, right?
It's also a pattern, like, we have international people all over the world in our group. We have French translators, we have Czech, we have Danish, we have Italy, we have Israel. I mean, all these different translators. And a common thread for a lot of healers and teachers on the path is we get this material and, oh, I want to go teach it.
Yeah.
What our teacher has even reminded us is that, instead of doing that pattern, because you change all your patterns slowly, and as you change that pattern and you just take it in really deeply for a minute, like just really integrate this and take it in. And that could be a minute, could be a month, a year, however long, but to really get this inner gong fu to really have something to give. So the teachings, our teachers hit all the personality traits that are consuming in energy holes and teach us step by step, systematically and slowly, and we practice on it. So it's not like someone's just throwing a bunch of theology at you, it's you practice on it. So it changes you from the practice and the theory. So the theory is the practice and the practice is the theory and the energy behind it. So it's way beyond the paradigm of the Course in Miracles model, which heals from the head up. It's fantastic from the head up, but Qi Gong is from the head down.
Yeah.
The heaven and earth inside the body,
Yeah.
and being the inner doctor and getting your inner wisdom and your inner intelligence and the inner harmony inside. And that's changing and looking at all the energy holes, the frameworks, the reactive modes, and doing the movement. So it's an entire healing program.
I love that because since saying he talked about me to you, I'm assuming you also know a little bit about what I'm into and all these things. And so what I see also right now is happening in the spiritual New Age movements, or in not even just the New Age movement, because a lot of that is superficial stuff, but more of the people who are really, really looking for the truth, awakening, enlightenment, etc. Like the real stuff, where the closer you get to it, the more uncomfortable you're gonna get, and there's a lot of castles that needs to be broken down here. That's real spirituality, not the stuff that just makes you feel good stuff, but the other stuff where you really go in and start making absolute real change, and the ego does not approve for sure. So that's the kind of spirituality. But inside that scene out there in the world, what I've seen over the years, and for many years, for decades, is a blossoming of the Advaita Vedanta, which is to say, you're not real, this is just a dream, you're all dreaming, it's all Maya, it's all illusion, and this body is just an imagination, it's a dream, manifestation from the dream, and all that stuff. And so there's a lot of denial and pushing away. There's a lot of cutting off and excluding the body and the person and the physical life and all that stuff. And I have been on this path myself for a period of time, and it had a lot of negative. It has positive, but it also had a lot of negative effects in the sense of my personal life started falling apart, my physical health started falling apart, everything started falling apart. But I was kind of in this transcendent state, just watching it, and just not really, not identified with it, not attached to it, so it didn't matter and don't care and all that stuff. And there is a full circle to be made here where you actually come back to where you began, which is you have a body, you have a mind, there's a person here, and there's a life to be lived and all these things. And so what I see now is there's a lot of people who has gone through these things, and they are now also coming full circle, and the new spirituality, the real spirituality, where you go in and do the real work, but the new one involves the body, embraces the body mind complex, embraces the life that you're in, embraces all of it. So love includes, not excludes. This is all about inclusivity. And so still having that transcendent state of understanding of not identification, not a heavy identification with all things, but still playing in this world, this game full on. And that includes the body. And so I've always found myself very lucky to have had martial arts in my life. Since I was 9 years old, I trained martial arts because it actually forced me to bring this body awareness in. Despite the fact that I went on this journey, I lost some connection, but I never fully lost it because of it. So that I'm very happy about. So, but what you're talking about makes my heart sing, because you're talking about the ultimate statements such as unity consciousness and bringing in the light and seeing that you are God and everything is love. And yet at the same time, you're talking about embodying it into the body, to actually holding it and bring it into this reality through the body as well. And I think this is it may sound, like a little, just a side note, but it's actually a big deal. It's a massive deal, because as you said, the Course in Miracles and a lot of other traditions is the mental, is from the head and up. There's not the integration into and out from here. And that is a huge missing piece on this planet right now. Why? Because all the things that are going on in the world, if you're running around in your little transcendent reality and you have not integrated, how are you going to become a spiritual warrior, a light bringer, someone who will come and create change on this planet, the change we all need to see happening? If you are living in this disconnected state of transcendent reality, you need to come in and actually move the energy inside on this plane of existence as well. And that is the missing piece in the serious spiritual communities right now. So I find, as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more and more appreciative of, in my case with the martial arts, but especially also Qigong and yoga asanas and whatever people can do of spiritual practices where they bring this into the body, in and out. It's more important than ever. I find it's extremely relevant. So it's beautiful. I actually think I would like to jump in and, if possible, join your group and do this healing on myself as well. I want to do this. It's really inspiring me, and I want to do this. So I think it's awesome. So I just wanted to bring that in.
Well, I can say that we definitely welcome you guys, and Zane and I already talked about it, and you guys could come and just do, I got to turn something off. Give me 1 sec.
Okay. So there's a question as well. I'm gonna just read here. So we have a question. We're taking questions while we're talking.
Do you mind if I just finish this one thought?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to welcome you to come and just come to my Zoom, and then try 6 sessions for free. We don't want people to invest in the teacher's tuition from what we study. You can come in. We're going to just do some practice sessions for the next couple of weeks, and you can come try 6 sessions. Ideally, we're giving you 3 days. There's 2 sessions a day if the timeline works for you. If not, you can take one every day for 6 days and just feel it. You're going to hear some words that aren't going to make sense because, we've been training for a while. If you join the course, I will infuse everything you need to do to get to understand when they say Ming Man, or, you know, they're using their Chinese words. So you could just come and try it on and see how these teachers are and our group is. It doesn't mean that that's what all of Zhenan Qigong is. We can point you to other teachers if this doesn't resonate, but you still want to try. Like, we have no agenda or attachment to it, but we can offer this right now. It's a very rare time that we can just say, come and try this for free. And if you love it, then you can, we're going to be reviewing this whole course. We just did, it's 18 sessions, and it's pretty affordable. It's a great way to try it from your home, and you've got an amazing support group. So that's the first thing I want to say. So at least you can come and do a taste test before, and really, you already know it's your frequency. You already are getting your yes. This, if for people who don't know, then they can just come and try and feel it. You'll know when, if you're a frequency match, and we don't want you there if you're not. I mean, it's not that we don't want you there, but really we're on a high-speed train, and we're going forward, and we'll always huddle in new people, but we're not looking for new people right now, because honestly, it takes, you know, it's a lot, but it's also super inspiring to have new people, because then we all go back to total beginner mind, and we're all baby beginners. So welcome you for that. And what I wanted to say about your conversation, I was listening to you very carefully. And I think the ultimate articulation on Zhenan Qigong is that it's not New Age. It's been around for over 5,000 years.
Yeah.
The Western medical, the Chinese medicine hospital, medicineless hospital, I believe was roughly 50 years ago. And it was, they had over 200,000 case studies of improvements on incurables. It is not exoteric or esoteric or whatever that word is. It's not woo-woo. It is science.
Yeah.
It is a science-based, medically studied, proven with medical equipment. Dr. Pong, who is the founder of Zhenan Qigong, was a Western medical doctor and an Eastern medical doctor before he was 18. He
Okay.
studied and mastered Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism. He went through all these places where most people get entry level. He went all the way through them and mastered them. He tried Zhenan Qigong practices. He tried the Western medical. He tried the Eastern. He threw out most of the Western and the Eastern because the Zhenan Qigong worked. So it's science.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like it is, and you know, like you were saying, it's not for sissies. And what happens with Jin and Qigong more often than not is what we call purification. And as you do this, it can get messy. And if the mind state, like I was saying to you before, the mind state's crucial. So if your mind state is, oh my God, the skin's erupting, I got to go back to the doctor, and you go into the fearful thing. But we support each other to stay stable and to keep moving the chi and letting the purification happen, and labeling it as purification, because Qigong is like a tool. It's like a knife. It's very useful and it's super important. But if you use it the wrong way, it's sharp.
Yeah.
And if you're practicing Qigong and you're in a dark alley with your thinking, and you're not huddled by a group and brought back to the good information, you can amplify whatever you're thinking. Like, your mind is the master.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking I'm sick and I'm going to die, you're going to get sicker and die. So we help each other, and we say in the training all the time, where we are planting new seeds. We're learning eight medicine factories in this particular course that we're doing right now. And they give you 1 through 8 on all the information to completely transform and awaken your inner doctor. Amazing, amazing technology. And so when you're using the technology, it's epic how fast and incredible, or I should say credible, because it is with credit, not without credit. It's very credible. And the transformation is just the key word. It's not you're just doing this practice because it feels good. Everything's transforming. So I don't really see people that are not on this path, and everyone I see that gets into this really awakens very fast. People that are really, like, even we have one lady, and I won't mention her name, but she's just been like and her whole light has come on. I mean, she was rolling her eyes, and she's so soft, and she's come to life. She's come into her heart, and she's gone from this just angry, sad, depressed face, and she's flower face, and your cells are listening to all that. It's an entirety healing. And furthermore, the training is taking you into this chi body all around you, which they've measured. It's 3 millimeters all around you, this energy body, and awakening the information there, awakening the information inside, getting unified with your information, cleaning your subconscious layers. So it's knowing, like what you were saying, the body, everything's an illusion. It's an illusion if it's not total, perfect love and oneness. But and still, we think we're in this form. And so to play with this form and enjoy it instead of beat on it and harp on it, that's part of the training. Like, you're changing the environment, and you're bringing the universe into every cell, and realizing what we know about a cell is so different than what we knew. So we're not working with these kind of facts that are changing. A cell used to be just an atom and a nucleus and stuff like that. Now we know that it's got cysoskeletons and all this other stuff. I don't know exactly all the stuff that's in there, but you can see what's in a cell now. Totally different. That's information from that's changeable. So the capital T truth. And what you're developing in Qigong is the non-negotiable, the indelible, the original information. You're restoring the original DNA. You're working with Iwanti, which is the original gnosis, the capital K gnosis or capital G. The inner absolute, and everything is an outward picture of an inward condition. Yeah. So you're cleaning your projections, you're cleaning your thinking, I could go on for weeks, and I know you're limited on time, but so then it's infinity inside, and inside is infinity, and it's really the oneness of everything. And there's really nothing that feels better. Nothing.
Well, you're very, very your passion is infecting me. And you're I don't know, you're using the right words for me, at least. I'm totally on board with everything you're saying, and I think it sounds very beautiful what you're doing and what you're talking about. And also what I hear is we are using the ancient operating intelligence. That's what it is. And so we're skipping the noise of sitting trying to analyze what is mitochondria and what is organelles and what is going on inside the cells, but you're going straight to the what do you call it, the operator, the supreme intelligence, and working with it, because you are that intelligence. But now you're connecting with it, and you start working with it instead, and then magic happens. And the thing is, anybody with just a little bit of a brain and 2 eyes can say to themselves, "Oh yeah, I know for a fact, I can sit down and worry for a couple of weeks, and I will create a hole in my stomach." Or I can just by thinking certain thoughts and having certain emotions, I can create all kinds of reactions in my body, and it's measurable, it's science. And also, when you talk about that this is not woo-woo, I've been into the Eastern philosophies since I was a little kid, and this is science. And another thing that I know is that a long time ago, before we actually are a species with amnesia, before we actually forgot who we are and all that stuff, a long time ago, science and spirituality were not two different things. It was two things together, where the spiritual aspects were verified scientifically, and the scientifically aspects were verified spiritually. These two things were never separated. So right now, science in the world that we live in right now is limping along on one leg because it forgot the soul, the chi, the prana, the ki, the intelligence It forgot that. But also I see, and this is the other problem, I see a lot of the New Age traditions and all that stuff. They are airy-fairy flying out there, and they have no legs to stand on, and it's too ungrounded, and it's not verified scientifically, and it's very, that is the woo-woo. And so you see the bad results of both sides not connecting to each other. So you see unscientific spirituality, and you see unspiritual science. But once you start putting things together, then you find awesome things such as Qigong. And I've known this my whole life. I did some Qigong a long time ago, many years ago. I've always been more into the dynamic martial arts, but I remember as a kid, I was like 18, 19 years old in the dojo doing Shotokan karate, traditional karate, where we used the breath balance and also a lot about the mindset and all these things. But I remember we had these big mirrors in the dojo, and I was training because I was going crazy with my training. So I trained also when everybody was gone, I still trained. And I remember standing in the dojo and just move my arms. And then I look at the mirror and I could just suddenly see all these energies coming out of my system, like all these lines and colors of rainbows. And I was like, what's that? And then I started discovering my body and all these energy movements. And so I've always had this access to it, but I never really scientifically went in and looked at the details of how it works. So, and at a later point in my life, I was doing a lot of Reiki healing, and I had my own clinic. I was doing all kinds of treatments for people, and I could see the meridians running through people's bodies. And I could sense the chakras, and I saw the etheric field and the auric field. And so I had all these openings, and my third eye was seeing all these things. So for me, that is very real. And the Chinese mapped this out thousands of years ago in great detail. And they did that in India as well, by the way. So yeah, it's total science. And yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so I have some practical questions.
Can I reply to that for one sec?
Oh yeah.
So the thing about Zhen and Qigong is that it removes all your paranoid distortions that are in the way. It's training that the information field, you actually get out of the problem vortex and you get into the Huanyan Ling Tong Yi Wanti Qi, the all-knowing and the gnosis. And so it's very fast. And what happened to me in the last couple of weeks, in the last month, I was just doing this medicine course, and along my way, I've always had stage 2 kidney cancer or kidney failure, GFR rate of 52, GFR rate of 54, creatinine, all that stuff. And I was happy to keep it at stage 2. It was on a triage level of what was going on in my life. It was 0 on the importance scale, like the brain. I had to take care of the motherboard, and I just never, kidneys were, I know they're the important thing. And that's been the focus of our classes lately, because it's the root of the physical. But I've been working on the energetic stuff and just had no attachment to it. Didn't think about the kidneys much, did the practices. I went for a blood test about a month ago, and I had stage 3A kidney. And I knew, I texted my teachers and I said, I can't even subscribe to this blood test. I can't even subscribe to this test because I'm having so many good benefits and so much is healing. So this is the mind state. I could have gone, okay, Qigong doesn't work, I'm out. So this is the difference, right? I know enough, I've seen enough, and I'm sure, like I don't have any question, this is purification. So my reactive mode and my training and my also proof of watching so many people, I am positive that this is purification. So it's that mind stable. And with that, the group support, like saying, hey, this is going on, loving my kidneys, doing a lot of practices, really, just going in deep with the kidneys and transforming on so many layers in my patterns in life and the way I think and I behave. So it really gave me a chance to go deep into the kidney energy. And I went back for another blood test a few weeks later, and total normal kidneys. Like, no. So this is what purification is. You
Yeah.
know, it got real bad
Yeah.
and uncomfortable, but my mind state and the support of the group and continuing with the practice, I thought, oh, maybe that was just because I was eating all this kidney food. I was just eating sweet potatoes for breakfast and doing stuff just for the kidneys. Let's see what happens when I eat normal. So I ate normal, drank all my coffee, did all those things. Went back again, my kidney function is normal.
Yeah.
I wasn't right. So it heals what it's supposed to heal, but it's an entirety, and it's more about I was cleaning all this stuff about my patterns and the way I am in life and going deeper and deeper and deeper,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
And another thing I can say with that is, I have my male brain is very scientific. I like to be scientific about a lot of things. And for a long period of time, many years ago, I was doing blood tests nonstop to check this and that. And in my research, I found out that blood tests are actually 90 to 95% inaccurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I learned that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna save the money and just stop doing this because it's not going anywhere. So the deeper you go into science, the more you're gonna get disappointed if you actually allow yourself to see the data presented to you. I am surrounded by a lot of people who have created scientism, like made science into a religion, and they can't really see the forest for all the trees. And so they are in denial about those kind of data. But if you actually are not attached to it and you actually take the data in and you start seeing how inaccurate a lot of things are, you start realizing you're investing a huge amount of energy into something that is actually not even carry any weight whatsoever. But most, especially males that are, like me, are having a hard time throwing that out because what else to hold on to, right? And so, luckily, I never had a problem flushing things down the toilet in my life. so I'm one of those who can walk away from stuff like that easy, no problem. But I stopped doing blood tests a long time ago because, for example, this kidney situation, or even better would be to say, for example, the liver, a lot of enzymes, elevated enzymes in the liver and all stuff. It could be that it's because it's actually doing its job and you're just in a massive detox and it's just working hard and to save you from a lot of other problems. And then you go and do a blood test and you think you're dying. And it's just like there's so much going on. And another thing I just want to mention, a lot of people are using these frequency machines. And so like this frequency or that frequency and this frequency is very good for the liver. So they sit and blast themselves with this. When in actual reality, the liver is running minimum 3,000 different kinds of frequencies at any given moment in time, and is changing according to how you feel and think and what's going on and where the stars and the planets are and the stages of your life, etc. And it's non-stop moving like waves on an ocean. So anybody who thinks that they can have some machine that is pre-programmed with 1 or 2 or 3 frequencies for the liver to do all kinds of changes that's just like 1% chance out of 100 that you might actually hit it right at this moment. Where what I love about the Qigong is you're tapping into the higher universal intelligence. So there's a much it's a living energy, it's a living intelligence that goes in and work on the frequency, the energy, or whatever you want to call it. And so it's an organic form of healing instead of the machines. I have a lot of problems with the machines. There's some machines that are okay out there that are doing a good job, but in actual reality, our minds are the greatest healers. Our body-mind complex is the greatest healer.
I think you're going to love the 8 medicine factories because they are going to help to really awaken the healing information with accurate ability to deliver the medicine that you need inside, the right amount with no side effects, to the right place. So this is the purpose of this course, is these 8 medicine factories and how to apply them. And if you even have a little bit of an open mind, it's going to revolutionize your life. Okay. And revolutionize the healer inside and awaken the inner doctor.
That's awesome. Okay, so I want to do this. When is it? Where is it? How do I sign up and all that?
So we'll give you the Zoom room. You can come in and do the 6 free sessions. If you want to sign up today, I could you can just contact me and I'll send you the flyer and how much the teacher's tuition is. Zane and I don't charge for what we do. Some people send us donations if they want to, if they find it valuable, but we hold the Zooms 2 times a day and support the group. So right now you could just jump in, and if you pay for it, you could do all 18 practice sessions that we're going to be doing. I think there's 19. We're going to just do the practice sessions for the next couple of weeks. And then after we finish them, which there was 18 sessions in this medicine course, they're about little over 2 hours each, sometimes 2.5. Once we do those practice recordings, review the recording of the practice, then we're going to start the whole review where we do the theory and the practice. So anybody that wants to join will have you registered, pay the tuition to the teachers for the teachers material, give you the Zoom rooms, and you could do all 18, or you could just come and try 6 without registering and paying for anything, and just come and get a feel and see if it really feels.
And how much does it cost if I want to do all 18?
I have to look up the price. I think it was originally 5 something, and I can get it discounted to 4 something. I'm not very
Like,
I don't have that detail in my head, but I will be able to get that for you if I'll get it to Zane, or you can email me and I'll get that to you. I really don't. I'm not very
so
good.
you said 5 something, you mean 500 and something and 400?
Yeah, the 2-month course was originally 5, but I can get it down to, I think, I can't remember, 4 something.
Yeah, 400 and something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's a 2-month thing.
It's 18 sessions that are over 2 hours each, most of them two, and then you get the recording so you can keep them forever. And that's rare. A lot of times they only let you view them for a short period of time. But this particular course, they're trusting, and they're allowing you to keep those recordings forever. And I think it's one of the more I've been doing Qigong for a long time. It's such a condensed, powerful, it's really a great place to start. Really lucky too, because we've been in this training with the teachers in this particular trajectory. We have like a whole curriculum, and we've been at this for several years. And for the first couple of years, you couldn't come in late. And now with this one, new people can start. So it's really good for new people, but you have a bunch of people that have been at it for a long time. So you have a real high level Gong Fu and real stable group that have already done a lot of work. So we'll be able to infuse in other previous stuff from the courses. If you're interested, you could always buy the earlier stuff too. But it's just a really nice way to really get the deepest. The movements are lovely. There's many, many different ways to practice with the physical. And we have people that are locked in ALS that can't move at all, and they're having major benefits. So no matter what your physical capacity is, your mind can, do the mirror image and see yourself moving, and then all of a sudden things start to work.
And if I want to practice this for years and years and years to come, would I have to every 2 months sign up for new courses, or is there some way? Is there some way I can practice this on a daily basis with other people in a more, I don't know, hopefully free way, or maybe cheaper way?
Qigong is the good Qigong, like the root of the real powerful Qigong like this is so valuable that when you see what you're getting for the money, you'll figure it out. The teachers really give you a lot I mean, more than you can ever imagine. And it just that whole thinking process, because I felt that way. I mean, I was like, look, I'm willing to do this work. And I could really, like, I have people that want to do TED Talks with me and things like that. So like I could really build up the business part, like I said. And I could be valuable. Why don't you give it to me for free? But what these teachers are saying is that this is so valuable, and if it's important to you, and if it's your thing, it's gonna happen. And so they don't lower down their price, but they keep their price, what they're giving you for the value. You will.
Yeah,
I'm
so after 2 months, you sign up for another course, and then after 2 months, you sign up for another course, or how does it work?
So what Zane and I do is we make this course. Okay, so we did this course, started in January, I
Uh-huh.
think. And the people that did it with us, you buy the course and it's 18 sessions, but we made it 2 sessions a day on top of that. So what we are giving is quote unquote free. People do send us donations because they're like, oh my God, you are just helping us, and we're paying for Zoom and we're showing up every day. And so people are donating. But so we've made it so that you can you buy this course, and now the teachers aren't doing another live course until January of next year, if I remember correctly. And we're going to expand this for a long time. So we've made it, we do a review and we go deeper, and everyone loves the review. And we have enough time, we may even do another review. Sometimes the teachers will come along and say, oh, we're going to give you this course now, and then we'll just do
Do
the
that.
course. But at this point, the plan is not to do the next step on our map with our teachers. They have a map of systematic of what they're doing in their training. And their next step isn't allegedly until January. Sometimes they'll pop in. They might do some free sessions and things like that. So we make this very affordable. This is like, already we've been January, February, March, April, right? Is that when we started, Zane? January? So a 2-month course we've turned into 4 months, 2 times a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you add that up, it's a penny a day practically. So it's really the way that we've done it. You cannot get more value for your money.
Yeah, yeah,
But what you're going to get inside is priceless.
yeah. Okay, the reason I was asking is because I know, as in other martial arts systems, repetition is key. To do it again and again and again and as often as possible. And that's why I was asking. So it sounds really awesome what you and Sane are doing, because um, as valuable as it is to do 18 times in 2 months, that I'm sure it's fantastic and very valuable. Uh, but me as a martial artist, I'm always thinking, how can I do this daily, many times? So this is, and especially with a group, because when you do things with a group, it becomes a lot more powerful. So I think that's a huge key that you guys are doing that. That's massive, massive.
Oh, I have 30 people registered with us right now, and about 15 to 18 show up on the Kelly Zooms morning and night. And the people that are not doing the Kelly Zooms are getting as much value too. So they found a way that they're passionate and they stay engaged. So you don't have to show up to the Kelly Zooms to succeed.
Okay.
Many people nationally do not do that.
And
So
what,
other part about healing is it's an entirety healing. So these blockages about I don't have the money, even for me when I've been on full-time disability and I haven't had the ability to go out and do a job, everything flows and you become abundant. Like it's an entirety healing. It's there, the information and the lack consciousness and those kinds of things all transform. I'm not saying that you're gonna, sit there and not do anything, but if you're having an entirety healing, your mind changes and all your blockages to your finances get improved. You're just abundant in all ways. You're
yeah,
in you're in the out of the ordinary, and you're in the real practice. And the real practice, 1 + 1 is 1. in ordinary, 1 + 1 is 2. So you're not working with the regular mind state, you're working with the oneness, and that is the totality. So everything will flow and work. You'll find your way.
And your sessions, you're doing 2 times per day?
Sure.
What time during the day is that?
Currently, we move it around a little bit because we're doing this all on voluntary. And so if I have something I can do with my granddaughter, it's like, we may say we're not going to have class today. I think we've done that once or twice, but usually we meet every day at 6 a.m. Hawaii time and 1:30 p.m. Hawaii time. So Zane could tell you what time that is, your time zone. You can look at your time zone converter, but that's our pattern's been 7 days a week, 2 times a day. And I think we've taken maybe one holiday. We love what we're doing. And so we're showing up because it helps us and it helps others so much. Like just seeing someone's light come on is the most precious commodity in the world. And developing this essence of chi is the most inner rich that I could ever have. So it's not a burden. But it is a willpower.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
we're, yeah.
Beautiful. I really love your energy, and I really love Zane's energy. You both are very good ambassadors for this, and you convinced me. I want to do it. I'm signing up. We have some questions here. Let me see. Cal is saying, when Zane joined our weekly Zoom meetings a few years ago, he offered us to join in weekly instruction online. I failed to commit to this opportunity. Now that I have completed my house move to Istanbul, I intend now to seek a teacher here and do this work for myself to heal the body so I can lift the soul. Okay.
So Carol could join us too. She doesn't have to have somebody in person, but if she needs a referral for Istanbul, I do have a friend that's there. I don't know if she's doing Ling and Lu though. I only would recommend Ling and Lu at this point in my life.
Okay.
There are other teachers though, so if she wants a referral from another type of Qigong,
Could you write your contact details in the chat so people can contact you with questions? Lynn is asking, do you have to do the Zoom live? I'm guessing it's getting recorded and sent out, right?
No, I don't record any of my Zooms. If you show up, you get the extras. We're doing it out of our heart, but the teachers, out of respect for the teachers, we are asked not to even teach this until you're certified. So you join the Zoom, you get a lot of value, you get a lot of information, but it's just there and it's gone. I don't even record it for my own information. We have a sacred area where people can come and really go deep and share and feel safe, and they're not recorded, so they can really open up. So it's precious, and it's not a that type of a thing. But the recordings you can buy from the teachers, the program that we're doing, you can buy that, and then you can do that at your own pace over and over again for a long time and still get so much value out of that. So you don't have to show up to the Kelly Zooms. Like I said, we have 30 people and we only have about 18 showing up, and people that aren't able to come to the Kelly Zooms are just loving it. They still love it. So you don't have to have this group support. It's just here for us because we love it.
Okay, yeah, so she's asking because she has a lot of responsibilities with grandkids, etc. So, but cost is not an issue, just the timing.
Perfect. You can just get the recordings then.
Yeah. So Cheryl is asking, please repeat the specifics of when the classes are from the teacher and when they are from Zane and yourself.
So the live session already happened. We're doing a review. So we're presenting the recordings without you having to buy them for the practice sessions for the next 18 days at 6 a.m. Hawaii time and 1:30 p.m. Hawaii. I'll type it. on my Zoom. And then, so the live sessions already occurred. So if you bought the course from the teachers, if you get it through me, but if you purchase the course, you would get a password, and then it's going to take you to a Vimeo link. Venmo or Vimeo, I mix those two up. The one
Vimeo.
that holds the videos.
Yeah, Vimeo.
Yeah. And then it has all of the 18 sessions from the course that we just did, the medicine course. And you would have those at your fingertips always. And then you can just download those and save those forever.
Okay.
Have the whole course today if you wanted it, and start even before our next class.
Yeah.
We are inviting you to come. You could come to our 6 a.m. class this morning if you want to jump in. You could come to the 1:30 class this afternoon. I think we're doing one this afternoon. We do pop-ups on the weekends. We're very consistent during the week. Monday through Friday, we're almost, well, Monday through Thursday, we are always on at 6 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Hawaii time. Sometimes on Fridays, we'll take a day off, an afternoon off, not the morning. And then sometimes on weekends, we announce on a signal group, any changes. And we do pop-up style so that we can have a little freedom in our own lives between Zane and I to do our shopping or do our family. So once in a while, we have an afternoon off, and everybody would appreciate that too.
So from, am I understanding this correctly? First, I have to go through this 18 session workshop with them before I can join you guys' classes?
No, you can come and try our classes for free for 6 sessions anytime from today through the next 18, 20 days.
Yeah.
19.
And
You-
so
Six sessions we're going to give you for free. So you can just get a taste test of the practice.
yeah.
You're not going to get the theory, but you're going to hear some theory, because the theory is always in the practice and the practice is always in the theory. That's what's so different about this Qigong, is that the theory is embedded. So as you practice, it comes in millions of different ways. So you can come try it anytime. You don't have to buy anything. You could buy the course right now and have it all.
Okay.
You could, so we're, it is, but you can't do more than 6 sessions. I can't honorably give you more than 3 days worth or 6 sessions for the teachers without paying for their tuition. So to keep in integrity,
Yeah.
you need to tuition if you love it and you want to keep going.
Okay. And so a practical question also, so I'm obviously going to be online live with you or the whole group. Do I have to put up my computer in such a way that I can stand up on the floor while watching you guys, or do I do it sitting here, or how does that work?
So what I ask of you and the whole group is, if you're definitely going to show up, send me the email so I can let the team know that you're coming. Okay, so then I'll let them know. So Joshua's going to be showing up for a free trial.
Yeah.
And then, or Joshua, if you join the course, then I'm going to put you in the signal group, and so then you'll have communication with people and you get more information and more support on the signal group and announcements when we're doing extra stuff and stuff like that. So the minute that you pay for it, you get the link for the recordings of the live course that we just did. I'll send you all the transcripts of the course, so it's in writing. You could read those. The transcribers don't get 100% and they don't get the energy. So I don't recommend you just read through them and think you're going to get it, because there's things that people that are this is all voluntary from my group, people transcribing, and they don't really get all of it. So they're an aid. They're not the precise information, and they're not the energetic, but you'll get those, and they can really help support. There is Chinglish, so the teachers, sometimes you have a little bit of a thing trying to hear them. If you ever have any trouble, Zane and I are on board. All you have to do is take an audio message, send it to me and say, what is she saying here? And I can tell you immediately. So we can do that all on texting, not too much of an energy hold. Just do your voice memo on your phone. Tell me what you don't understand and I'll get it to you. So we'll support you in those kinds of things. With the Kelli Zooms, you can just direct all your questions and your experiences to the Kelli Zooms live. You can email us if you need to. And I do one-on-ones. I think Zane probably would too, by donation, if you have real deep work you want to go into, because sometimes people need a lot of extra, or they need deep healing or something like that. So those kinds of things. But when you buy the course, you're going to get the recordings. I'll send you the transcripts. You'll get put on Signal. If you come and do the trial, you just come and try it. We'll give you the Zoom room number once you email me and tell me you want to come. I don't want to just throw my Zoom room number out there, and I want to be able to let the team know you're coming and be ready for you. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else I need to remember? Oh, we also have some questions here in the chat. Let me go through.
So I'm not going to take emails and reach out to people. If people want something, they can contact me. And so you have my email. So because I don't want to I have another class right after this, and then I have my
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
I'm not going to write down all of what people want. Just contact me via email, and I'll get it to you as reasonably as I can.
yeah. Okay. And so link to the courses. Is that
So when you email me, when you pay for the course, I'll give you the links for that and the passwords. And those are good for like almost a year. So you have a year to download 18 sessions. You could do that in a week or a day. So, and then you've got them forever. So that's the link to that. And then the link to the Kelly Zooms, when you email me and let me know you're coming and when you plan on coming, then I'll send you the Kelly Zoom link and the password back.
okay? So could you share your email address in the chat?
Yes, I did. If you scroll back, I think I texted it up in here. It says upkelli@gmail.com. Maybe I sent it just to one person. Does anyone see it?
I don't see it.
Oh,
So
I just sent it to Zane, I think. Let me try to get to everyone. I'm sorry about that.
yeah,
So let's try it again.
yeah. You have to have the blue thing saying, yeah, now it came. Yeah, upkelli@gmail.com. Okay. So I'm gonna email you after this, and I want to join. I think tonight. I guess I want to do it tonight. I want to
We'll
start.
be on in it's 5:22 a.m. here now. So we start at 6 a.m. So we can, if you email me, I'll keep my eye out right up until 6 a.m.
Okay,
Um,
so that's you guys are gonna do a class in 30 minutes about.
yeah.
Okay, I'm in. Can you just please tell me, do I need to put my computer on a shelf or
Oh, right. So we have a lot of people that don't want their image showing. If you want, you can have your computer on. So what I do is, when I'm sitting, I have my computer down here, and then I try to stand so that people can kind of see the movement, but you'll see the teacher, so you could have small screen with me and Zane and people that have our camera on, how you can set it up where you have everybody, the gallery, or you can set it up where you just view the teachers. I recommend just watching the teachers because they're the people that you want to really pick up the energy from and mimic them because they're proficient. As far as your own camera, if you're comfortable with your camera on, you can have it on. If it's a day where you just don't want to be seen, you can have your camera off. If you want to come and share, you can share. If you just want to observe, you can observe. We really are loose. You don't need to tell us when, in the beginning, when we're giving you these free sessions, you have to let me know. But once you've registered and paid for the course, you come when you want to come. If you come late, it's fine. Just keep your mic off.
okay,
And, we don't have any attachment. We don't have any energy holes or scorekeeping. People just love it and they come.
okay,
And
okay,
it's
okay.
very
So on a practical level for everybody, so if you join, which I hope you will, I'll see you in 30 minutes. Uh, just make sure you can see the screen and you're standing on a floor where there's space. So you should be able to see the screen and stand on a floor. That's how you're supposed to do the session, right?
Well, they could do it even laying down. Like I said, there was the lady at the retreat, and I laid down for the first many months during a lot of it. I just couldn't stand up. And we have people that are completely immobile that have done it where they can only move their eyes. And
Okay.
yeah. And so there's no requirement. It's the mind state. So your mind, all you want to do is, if you can't open your eyes, listen and be in the chi field. There are days, where you can't do it, but you can take in the energy in the chi field. There are days where you can watch it and do the mirror image. Imagine your arms moving. If you can't lift your arms, you use your chi body and you imagine that your chi energy is moving through you. So we'll give you all the training as you come in on how to do this if you're immobile or you have impairments like that. And people can come back from those kinds of things. If you're missing an organ, you're still working with your chi organ. So it's not about the physical so much. The energy body is the first thing that heals. And then the physical, even on an energetic level, you can get that gallbladder functioning even without a gallbladder. So this is out of the ordinary way of thinking. And so you don't have to do anything. The more you, so you don't want to push yourself to exhaustion and tension, but you want to push yourself to your best effort. So what I can say is that the universe meets you more than 50%. So if you're lazy and slothful, it's going to give you a lazy and slothful practice. But if you're willing to do your max without consuming and force, and try it, and playfully try it with allowing and not pushing against it. So we're going to train you in all of this as we go along, but it's the energetic, the mind state behind it. So if you think when I couldn't lift my arms, I could not lift my arms. I just couldn't lift them. But when I started using the chi, something started happening and the arms just started coming up. So it's amazing. So we'll give you, even if you have severe impairments, locked, this shoulder was completely dangling. I couldn't get it to move. I couldn't get the hand was the ALS hand. It couldn't move. I couldn't hold my own head up when I first started.
Well, you look like you're doing pretty well right now.
It's amazing. Like up until last year, I had to lay down for a lot of the sitting meditations. I couldn't sit. I could stand better than I could sit. And
Wow.
I could stand on one leg real well. And now I'm hiking up. Zane was also practicing from a chair for years. And now we're both hiking up mountains, and he can walk fully. I can walk. I have a little funky stuff. I'm sure he does too, but we're doing our dream where I'm out there hiking these Cocoa Head stairs, and I walk miles every day. I mean, my app told me I did 18 marathons I sent to you, Zane? Since I moved here, my whole destiny has changed. And that's what Qigong is. It's an entire destiny change with these teachers. There's other teachers that are going to take you through. There are some teachers that are, they're businesses
Yeah.
and they have a different agenda. These teachers, this teaching is really rare. You're getting the secrets that most Zhenin, Chinese, the ancient practitioners withheld a lot. And these guys are giving us the Holy Grail.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Lots of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm in. So for the group, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be doing this meditation we normally do after the live event because I'm going to be busy doing this. So I'm sorry, there will be no meditation after this live event because I'm joining this Qigong, and I highly recommend you to do the same. So if you want to, remember to email Kelli at upkelli@gmail.com. It's in the chat. I'm going to email you right now just to confirm. And so you have my email address, and then I'll see you in 30 minutes or so.
Okay. And Zane did put together a little bit of a cover letter so that people that you have in your course that you play this recording for, he's got his email address and some information, I think, to make it a little easier for people that aren't live right now, so that they can, get that information at their fingertips on how to, let us know they're coming, and to either email him or me or.
What I'm gonna do is I'm sending out this video as a replay to all the members, and underneath the video, I'm gonna put your email address if that's okay for you.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody who watched this replay, they can look underneath the video on if they you would have to go on patreon.com as your member, you go in there, and underneath this video, you will be able to see her email address. And so you can email her. So thank you so much for sharing your light, your energy, your time, and your passion. It's been really a pleasure to have you here and to meet you finally after all this time. And this is just the beginning. I'll be joining you in 30 minutes.
It was a great honor to meet you, and I know I feel all the love that Zane has for you and your group, and I tap into you guys a lot, and it's really nice to be able to bring, um, you know, this fragrance. They say sometimes like it's in the crash and burn, and the crushed petal has the best fragrance, and so to bring this, this fragrance to the world at this time after that kind of a story is just my deepest honor, and I'm really, like I said, if Zane ever asked for anything, I would never say no. So 4 in the morning wasn't too much today, but I hope if we ever do anything again, that it's not so early.
Oh, you're up at 4 in the morning. Thank you so much. I didn't even think about that. Thank you.
3:30 because we started at 4, so I had to brush my hair and make the pet.
Thank you so much. That's very touching. I'm deeply touched. And also, I feel this is very auspicious because today is the 7th of April. Tomorrow is a big day, astrologically speaking. And I think this conversation might be the initiation, the kickstart, the beginning of a complete new life for hopefully as many people as possible. So thank you so much.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I sent to the Signal group the whole thing about the eclipse and how to get ready for it. And tomorrow's practice, we'll be doing a meditation and getting our intentions in order. So Zane can copy that and send it to you too if you want, so that you have that. And we're going to really use the energy for tomorrow for the eclipse. Is that what you're talking about?
It is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're ready for that tomorrow at our 6 a.m. class, and probably included at the 1:30 p.m. class tomorrow too.
Yeah, okay. So Lynn is saying, thank you so much for your time and wisdom. I look forward to joining the Qigong. So Lynn is going to be there too. And I think more people will join as well. And also there will be people also watching the replay. And I have a feeling you're going to get some more emails. I actually feel like posting this on my YouTube channel. I don't know if that would be okay for you.
Sure.
Yes? Okay, I'll do that. So yeah, love it. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go now so you can prepare for the session, and I need to prepare as well. And so thank you so much for sharing. Love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just take a moment and hold each other's hands energetically and just feel this. Oh, it's almost like just this sense of like the answer to the prayer can be here, and feel that energy and be true to yourself.
And everything is possible.
Hala.
Let's
Hala.
bring.
It's already healed.
Yes, beautiful, awesome. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna remove pin here. Okay, good. So no meditation today. I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me. But I want to join this. So I'm gonna email her now, and then I'm gonna join this Qigong. I hope I'll see you guys in there as well. Okay, so thank you for today. Namaste. I love you all, and I see you next week. And maybe for some of you, I see you in 30 minutes. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, how do I stop this? I'm a little spaced out right now.